William Poundstone, Priceless, The Myth of Fair Value, and How to Take Advantage of It. Ever wondered why we struggle to determine the absolute monetary value of items, or why some prices seem fair while others don't? In Priceless, The Myth of Fair Value, and How to Take Advantage of It, author William Poundstone explores the psychology behind pricing and our perception of it. The book brings awareness to how prices are relative and affected by anchors, as well as our subjective evaluation of their fairness. Dive into fascinating experiments and examples that explain our behavioral tendencies towards pricing, such as loss aversion, and how our decision-making is influenced by factors like utility, heuristics, and our emotional connection to products.
The psychology of pricing. Have you ever wondered why prices vary depending on where you shop and what you've bought before? The truth is, prices are relative. Consumers can't estimate the cost of a product without a reference point. In this book, the author explains why our memories of prices are limited and why we're more likely to remember the average cost of products we buy frequently. By analyzing the psychology of pricing, readers will gain a better understanding of why prices fluctuate and how consumers perceive value. Money and happiness. The relationship between money and happiness isn't straightforward. The amount of money you have and your level of financial security play a significant role in how much happiness an increased income can bring. A millionaire may not feel much excitement over an extra $1,000, while someone with very little may feel overjoyed at receiving $100. This is known as the wealth effect. Additionally, the value you assign to a product, or its utility, also determines how you react to its price. So, someone who loves chocolate may be willing to pay more for it than someone who doesn't. When Harvard students were asked what amount of money would make them twice as happy as $10, the surprising answer was $40. This suggests that even those who are financially secure may need significantly more money to achieve the same level of happiness than someone who is struggling financially. The science of decision-making. Have you ever wondered why people play the lottery despite the almost nil chance of winning? It turns out that our decisions are often influenced by mental shortcuts called heuristics. This can lead to boundedly rational thinking, where we prioritize basic factors over a more rational decision-making process. Even when we go with our instincts, they may still be influenced by external factors like the hormone oxytocin. Oxytocin promotes trust and generosity and is the key ingredient in a product called liquid trust, a spray used in perfumes and greeting cards. While scientists argue that oxytocin can only be administered via injection or direct nasal spray, the existence of liquid trust suggests that gut decisions are being influenced more than we realize. Anchors, how they shape our decisions. Anchors are hints in our environment that influence the way we estimate prices or numbers without any given scale. Even insignificant numbers can shape our subsequent decisions without us realizing it. In an experiment, participants who copied out their ID number from a post-it note guessed a number that was as much as 55% higher on average than the group that just had to write down the color. Our behavior is influenced to a greater extent if we're aware of an anchor and use it as a reference point. Another experiment showed that when participants estimate the weight of a second object after feeling the weight of the first object, anchor, affects their estimation. The more attention a number gets, the more influence it has. This is evident when comparing two prices directly. The higher the anchor prices of the surrounding products, the higher the price people are willing to pay. Anchors are everywhere, and their influence on our decisions is often subconscious. Knowing this can help us become more conscious of our decision-making processes and make better choices. The psychology of fairness. Discover how the fear of negative consequences and the desire for fairness influence our trading behaviors. From the ultimatum game to the dictator game, experiments show how we adapt our offers and attitudes depending on the circumstances and level of transparency. Find out why companies apply fair pricing strategies and how the absence of accountability affects our generosity and greed. The cost of fear. Most people pay for insurance and flat rates to avoid the psychological pain caused by the fear of loss. This is known as loss aversion, and it stems from our ancestors' need to survive. We perceive every purchase as a loss to some extent, so we pay for risk coverage that we won't use, while the insurer gets an easy profit. Scientists found that people regret a loss of $10 more than the joy they experience from a $10 gain. Thus, flat rates work because one large loss is less painful than multiple small losses. Consider a $90 parking ticket versus three $30 ones. We're afraid to use our phones to avoid breaking them, so we pay high insurance premiums. A 2009 study reveals that San Diego cell phone users paid $3.02 a minute for calls because they had flat rates but did not utilize the entirety of the plan. To make financially sound decisions, we should question how we prioritize our fear of loss. The power of anchoring. Have you ever wondered why you choose mid-priced products over cheap or expensive ones? It turns out that our perception of value is influenced by the presence of higher or lower-priced options. Businesses can use this psychological phenomenon to their advantage by introducing a more expensive item as an anchor, making their other products seem like a better deal in comparison. This strategy was successfully used by Anheuser-Busch when they introduced Michelob, which made Budweiser seem like a mid-priced option. Williams-Sonoma also used this strategy to increase sales of a bread maker by introducing a higher-priced model. This phenomenon is known as anchoring and can be a powerful tool for businesses to sell their products without resorting to price cuts. By understanding how anchoring works, consumers can make more informed buying decisions and avoid getting swayed by psychological tricks.
Poundstone's Priceless provides a fresh perspective on our relationship with pricing, shedding light on how prices are determined and the psychology behind our perception of them. Anchors and context play a significant role in how we evaluate prices, and fairness is a critical factor in purchasing decisions. Additionally, our inherent loss aversion, decision-making shortcuts, and emotional connections to products drive our willingness to pay for them. By understanding these concepts, readers can better navigate a world full of price manipulation and make informed choices as both consumers and sellers.